one thing that I know for sure is that it costs you nothing to be kind to someone. This is a little bit different from the other videos that I have made because, I want to talk about a specific topic, something that happened yesterday, but it just go to show you that you just never know what somebody going through, and also being kind. There's nothing wrong with being kind to someone. I know that in the world, it's got a lot of things going on, a lot of frustration, a lot of distractions, a lot of things to make you believe something that, maybe not even true. But, you know, it's the world, right? But yesterday, I was at work and, I do have a helper with me. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know, I do major appliances. I drive a box truck and, I have a helper with me. So anyway, I'm bagging up, getting ready to go into an apartment and stuff like that. And he had this lady out there with her dog. And I said, hey, I said, hey, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? She said, all right. She said, how are you? I said, I'm good. I said, if you don't mind, could you help me get in this building, or do you know if the building door is open? And she was just like, oh, can you just look and see what number the building is? And I told her. She opened it up. I say, thank you, ma'am. I really appreciate it. And that was it, right? Then we come back out, after we deliver and all that stuff, we come back out, right? And the lady had been looking for us, about to walk up the stairs and everything to find us, because we was on the second floor and stuff like that. And I was just like, wow. But what tripped me out was my coworker was like, man, that's crazy. The lady, really, was looking for us to, give us that. She gave us 2 waters and 2 sparkling waters. You know what I'm saying? In a can. I gotta see what that's there because I like those. But anyway, and she, and I told him, I say, bro, hey, how you doing? How you been? What's going on? Man, that go a long way. That really go a long way, because you don't never know what somebody going through. You don't never know. You know what I'm saying? You never know what somebody going through, and you being nice, you being polite, you just showing the act of kindness could change somebody's whole life, somebody's whole perspective about life. It could change. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like a lot of the times we walk around and we be so focused on what we be focused on that we just be passing people up, people that we can help, and it ain't got nothing to do with money, And I know, like I said, everybody going through something. You may be going through a rough time right now. You like, how can I think about somebody else when I'm going through something? That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that, hey, how you doing could help you. You see what I'm saying? The act of kindness could help you. You could be going through something. You could be thinking you helping somebody else, and they can have a giving spirit, even though it look like they going through something. You just never know. You know what I'm saying? But we be so stuck on what we got going on. And then showing an act of kindness, you may meet somebody while you think you struggling or going through a situation. They get to talking to you, breaking down to you, and you like, yeah, God, I thank you, because it could be like this. It could be worse. So you just never know. You just never know. So, I don't take them little times like that for granted, and I appreciate them because it humbles me and lets me know, hey, make sure you're doing what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't never know what life will deal you. You know what I'm saying? You just don't know. And it always could be worse. I always think about that when I'm going through something. It always could be worse. I remember times where I would get frustrated and mad and angry and furious about certain situations in my life, but it didn't got to the point where when I see certain things that I know I would be like that about, I get to feeling some type of way, I really can't get as mad or angry as I used to, because, man, it's like, I just know that God gonna come through for me. I just know that God got my back. Like, you know what I'm saying? At first it wasn't like that. I had trust issues when it came to God because of the stuff that I've been through. You know what I'm saying? I didn't believe that God could be God, the God that he say he is for me. I just thought that was for church folks, because it seemed like them the only ones that would be expressing about you know, how good or, you know, who he is and stuff like that, and they seem happy, you know what I'm saying? And then to find out that, you know, a lot of people, I ain't gonna say a lot of people, just say in the church, they got a lot of actors, but at the end of the day, it's about when you go home, the relationship. You know what I'm saying? So you could get caught up in playing church, and the church not even being you, meaning in your heart. You see what I'm saying? Meaning you obedient, meaning you understand. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot I had to learn. And so the perspective I had, thinking that you had to get it together to come to church, or you had to be this certain way, or this and that like that, I wasn't with that, and I'm still not with that. And so, but once I learned about relationship and who God was, and just growing my relationship with God, everything changed. So, like I say, just being polite, being nice, you know, being kind to somebody, like that really changed my life. I ain't gonna lie to you, cause I wouldn't if I felt like we ain't identified with one another, meaning, you know what I'm saying, I understand you like, yeah, you know, I'm from the hood, right? Yeah, you know, I understand you understand me. Bro, I did not care. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's sad. That's sad because, you know, I really like people, but when you've been conditioned, you've been beat down, you done been through certain things in your life, you know what I'm saying? You tend to adapt to what you know. And that's kind of where I was. And when I say God got me out of my comfort zone since I've been here, like, completely. Like, I ain't know I love people as much as I do. You know what I'm saying? I'm still me, but I'm a better me. You know, if that makes sense. I'm still me, but I'm a better me, you know. And it wasn't always like that. You know, it took time for me to get where I am today. And I'm still going, you know. But yeah, I really want to make this video, man, because this is something that may seem so simple to the average person. You know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you, you just never know by you being kind how that could change somebody else's life around you and how they could change your life. You know, all it takes is just to act of kindness. You know, you ain't gotta be rich, you ain't gotta have this, you ain't gotta do this. Hey, how you doing? You know, I really like them shoes, man. You know what I'm saying? Or for ladies, that's a nice dress, and you know, just whatever. You know what I'm saying, man? That's a nice car. You ain't got your car yet, but you grateful that somebody else got them. They got their dream car. They doing it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's a nice house, beautiful home. You know what I'm saying? Like, what it costs you to be kind to one another? And, you know, I know people gonna say, man, what I look like being kind or being nice, people don't be kind to me. That's the problem right there. You started talking about, you know what I'm saying, what they not doing. The thing about it is God says it's better to give than to receive. But see, we get so caught up in money. That's all we think about is money. It's better to give than to receive. So we thinking about, if I got it, I give it. You know what I'm saying? Or when I get it, then I pay to give right now. I got to receive. See, you learn about money. It ain't just about money. He said it's better to give than to receive. You get what I'm saying? We got to open up our minds to understand that giving ain't just money, man. It's not just, it's something, but it's not just money. You know, when you give what you have. Just like when we speak about tithes, I'll get into that another day, because I know that's going to open up a whole different type of conversation of what I'm talking about. But, you know, ain't nothing wrong with being kind to someone. Nothing wrong with that at all, you know? And so, like I said, I want to make this video to just shed some light on that, because I feel like we need more of that in the world. You know, everybody worrying about themselves, everybody got something going on, and I don't blame you. You know, you going through it. But what I am saying is, with what you can control it. Like, you know what I'm saying? If it's just a wave, you never know. Somebody probably ain't. You know, let me say this. This is my last thing. When I was going to get gas, and I opened up the door for a guy, right? Now the guy was angry, and I could see that. Didn't say nothing to him, just opened up the door. Instead of him coming through my door, he tried to go through the other door and hit the glass hard as I don't know what. And then he was like, "Oh man, I'm sorry." I say, "Sir, it's all right." You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I'm talking about. I don't know what kind of day he was having, but I was being kind. But he allowed what he was going through to ruin his day. You get what I'm saying? So you ain't gonna be able to help everybody. You ain't gonna be able to give to everybody. You ain't gonna be able to talk to everybody. That's cool. But I did my part. In my heart, that's what I felt that was needed to do. He ain't receiving, hey, but I gave. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna leave that like that. But like I say, man, I was just sharing that to just shed some light on that, man. Be kind to one another. You know what I'm saying? And what measure you give, it'll be given back to you. Keep that in mind. So I pray you receive this in Jesus' name. Let's go.